Hello, it says welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, then just welcome. Hi, my name is Brenda. I do paranormal videos here on my channel, so if that is something that you are interested in, please consider subscribing down below and turn on your post notifications so you do not miss when I post another video like this one. Alright, with all of that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. Alright, you guys, so as you can tell by the title, per usual, today I am going to be talking to you guys about, I think four? Did I do four? Yeah, 4 urban legends that take place in a lot of different places in Mexico. I know that you guys really do enjoy these, and I've been saying that I want to venture out to different parts of the world, but as of right now, Mexico has some of the best urban legends still, and some of the ones that give me the creeps the most out of all of the other places that I've researched. So we are doing Mexico once again. So I'm really excited for these ones, and I hope that you guys are too, and that you enjoy this video. But before I actually do start on the urban legends, I just quickly wanted to give a huge shout out to Rose Forever New York for partnering with me for today's video and sending me once again an absolutely beautiful bouquet of roses, which I'm gonna go grab real quick. Alright, so this time they sent me a smaller one, but it is so beautiful. It has the most beautiful blue colored roses. Let me show you guys up close. Look at that. Wow, and it comes in this beautiful like velvet material box. It's got a little lid that comes with it, so you could place it on a table or something. It comes with this little lid, goes on top if you ever want to store them, if you're moving, or if you just want to preserve them a little bit more if you're out of town or whatever. But it's such a beautiful little box. I absolutely love them. And let me tell you guys a little bit about Rose Forever New York. Rose Forever New York is a New York-based company that launched in 2019. They design luxurious rose boxes with natural roses that will last for over a year. All the materials they use to cover the boxes are also vegan, and there is an enormous choice of rose colors and box shapes or materials. So you just have to find your own perfect combination for your interior design. They also make a great gift for anyone in your life who enjoys having flowers in their home. They are currently having a Valentine's Day sale, and you can also use my code BIAMBELLEZA25 for $25 off your entire order site-wide. But yeah, guys, if you guys are interested in checking them out, go ahead and click the link in my description and use that code BIAMBELLEZA25 for $25 off your entire order site-wide. And once again, thank you, Rose Forever New York, for partnering with me for today's video. I really appreciate you guys. Alright guys, and now back to the video. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Let's start off with urban legend number 1, which is going to be about El Sombreron, or the evil hat man. Alright, so it says, those few people who have seen El Sombreron walking the streets of San Fernando, Chiapas, describe him as a very tall, stocky character wearing an elegant black suit with gold buttons and huge boots with silver spurs. His face is not clearly seen because he wears a huge black hat that covers part of his face and back. When this big-hatted man appears, he offers riches and promises of a long life to anyone who sees him. This is followed by a shock that paralyzes the victim, preventing him or her from moving or walking to save themselves. El Sombreron causes anguish, indescribable fear, and the inability of people to even speak or defend themselves. The victim also feels uncontrollable discharges of chills shooting throughout their body. It is said that El Sombreron does this to steal the victim's soul and to feed off the person's energy. After he is done with his macabre harvest, he leaves the drained person abandoned in a place far from where they initially were captured. When this is all finished, El Sombreron moves away from the site and, mounted on an enormous jet black horse, crosses the street of San Fernando amid a pack of howling dogs. There have been locals who say that if you apply the secretions from the eyes of a dog into your own eyes, that you can see El Sombreron at will, along with a whole host of other ghostly entities. However, the risk of trying this is deadly, since whoever witnesses a vision this way can be trapped in another dimension or show signs of madness, or may even end up with a fatal outcome. Children are especially at risk in times when El Sombreron appears, because whoever is caught and has sold his soul to this evil entity can free himself from the curse with the innocent soul of a child as payment. Many people will kidnap an infant or a small child and offer it to El Sombreron in order to save themselves. Now, this sounds really creepy to me because obviously selling your soul to anybody is really creepy, but this man, just the way that they describe him, sounds pretty terrifying. If I had ever crossed paths with that, I would just faint. And the fact that people would even try to summon him some way with the eye boogers of a dog or whatever, putting it into their own eyeballs is so weird. And the fact that this is even a thing, I was like, who's making this shit up? Who's looking for these entities or whatever you want to call them? I guess this one, it's because he grants you riches or something like that. I feel like it always starts with something like that. It's like people who are in desperate need for money or for status or whatever it may be, and they're not satisfied with themselves, they end up going down this path, and it can be pretty scary. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about that one. Now let's go on to the second urban legend. This one is the Witch of Tepoztlan. I think that's how you say it, Tepoztlan. There's a Z, but I don't think you say the Z, and if I said it wrong, I'm sorry. Alright, so many years ago, in the Mexican state of Hidalgo, outside of the city of Tepoztlan, there lived a little girl named Etzli. I'm not really sure. In the local indigenous language, Etzli meant blood. As a little girl, other children made fun of Etzli, not just, oh my god, I feel like I'm saying it wrong, Etzli, not just because of her name, but because many people considered her to be very ugly. The children were cruel and would sometimes throw rocks at Etzli and chase her. As she grew older, she felt more marginalized and rejected by society, so she turned to the comfort and power of the dark arts. She would retreat to the hill above Tepoztlan to practice her witchcraft in private. Surprising to some, Etzli eventually married, albeit later in life, and her husband worked hard to make a nice house for them, and he loved Etzli a great deal, although they had no children. At the time Etzli was married, there were many rumors around town that she was a witch, but her husband never heard such rumors. Many townsfolk stayed away from Etzli and locked up their homes at night because they were afraid of her. Stories abounded of the woman's nighttime escapades, so people were overly cautious. Her husband was always so tired after the day's work that after Etzli prepared her customary evening meal of rellena frita, the man would go straight to bed. About a year after they were married, the man started to hear stories about his beloved wife Etzli, and he became suspicious of her. One night he pretended to go to sleep and he watched her. What he saw frightened him. Etzli removed her own legs and attached gigantic chicken legs in their place. She then grabbed a broom, opened the window, and flew out of it, heading for the hill above the city of Tepoztlan. Etzli's husband got out of bed and warned the neighbors. Soon dozens of people gathered, carrying torches and machetes, marching on the hill. They found Etli by following the cries of a newborn baby that she had stolen from a family and had intended to kill. When they came upon the witch about to kill the baby, 3 men threw a net on her to capture her. The crowd shouted to burn her. They built a bonfire, tied Etli to a post, and asked her to confess her sins, but she refused. Overwhelmed by what was happening, Etli's husband told the crowd to set her on fire. She begged for mercy, and among her cries of desperation, the deep voice of a demon was heard saying,
"Come to me."
After this event, the inhabitants of Tepoztlan avoided going up the hill after 9 p.m. at night. Oh my god, this one, like, the whole chicken legs thing is so freaky. And, like, was she not, like, smart enough to know that her husband was over here fake sleeping? Like, would she not know that, you know, he was watching her? Did she not see this? Like, I feel like she could have been more discreet about this if she was really trying to sneakily do her witch business, because it felt like she kind of was just doing it with no fear. She was like, you know, they'll never catch me. They'll never see me doing this. But she literally did it right in front of her husband, and she didn't even try to, like, sneak away somewhere. If it were me, I would have gone to the next room and then walked out the front door. She was over here doing it in her same bedroom with her husband in the bed next to her, and just opening up the window and leaving out of it with her broom. Now imagine that her husband made all of this up. Like, he was trying to get out of this marriage, and the quickest way that he thought to do it was to lie about his wife being a witch, and then that way that everybody would just kind of go along with it and then kill her. Well, the whole thing with the baby, if they found her because the baby was crying and she took it, I guess that part wouldn't really make much sense. But how freaking creepy that she goes from pleading for her life to having the voice of a demon come out of her. That is so terrifying. Okay, but let me know what you guys thought about that one, because witches like that always really creep me out. Especially, as I said, the whole chicken leg thing. I was like, what the hell was that about? Why did you need to? She detached her own leg. Like, what kind of witchcraft is that? Like, actually, right? Okay, so let's go ahead on to our third urban legend for today. And this is the ghost of La Cuesta Blanca. So people traveled from all over the Baja Peninsula to the Hotel Rosarito, a place to celebrate the best events. A very special day at this beautiful hotel was the wedding of Camilo and Victoria, a couple very much in love who had decided to unite their souls for life. The wedding was beautiful, and everyone enjoyed the lavish reception afterwards. The father of the bride had given the young couple a trip to Europe for their honeymoon, so they had to cross the border and travel to Los Angeles, California to catch their flight. The newlyweds left their guests amid hugs and tears of joy, happy to start their new life. As soon as they got into their car to head north, it suddenly began to rain with dense drops of water and wind. But nothing discouraged the bride and groom. They even considered that it was somewhat romantic to drive in the rain, or that it was a blessing because they were in the middle of a harsh desert. On the way to their destination, they had to pass a place known as La Cuesta Blanca, or the White Hill. That place has a reputation for being very dangerous, as it is there that cars often speed and fall victim to terrible accidents. Near the hill today there are lights and houses, but back then it was a dark and lonely place. The bride and groom were imagining what London and Rome would be like, when suddenly at the curve of the hill a cow was trying to cross the road but got scared by the car and ran back. Camilo lost control of the car, went off the road and slammed it into a rock outcrop. Camilo was thrown from the car, and although seriously injured, Victoria was able to get out of the car and run to her husband to try to save him. She then went up to the side of the road to ask for help. The few cars that passed her just kept going because they didn't want to stop for a stranger on a lonely road or they were scared seeing a bride screaming and covered in blood. Meanwhile, Camila was dying, and Victoria, drowning in tears, decided to stand in the middle of the road to force the cars to stop. Suddenly, a cargo truck passed by, whose driver did not see her and ran over poor Victoria. The next day, the driver could not bear the guilt and turned himself into the authorities, who went to the scene of the events, finding the car destroyed and Victoria and Camilo dead next to each other. They did not explain how Victoria's body had ended up next to Camilo's because the driver told them that she had been left right on the other side of the road. Legend has it that to this day, Victoria appears on the side of the Cuesta Blanca asking for help from passing drivers, dazzling passers-by with her white dress. Other times, she appears with a bloody dress, and when Good Samaritans stop to help her, she says with a discouraged voice, "It's too late," while she continues walking with her eyes looking lost just before disappearing. That one is pretty sad because the theory that I have because of how their bodies ended up together is that she actually had already died on impact, and as a spirit herself, she was probably trying to get help for her husband, who was probably still clinging on to life, and that's why when she went up there and the driver hit her, it was probably just an apparition of her, but the truck driver actually thought that it was actually a person that he ended up hitting, and I'm guessing he ended up just driving away because it said that later on he went to the police station and turned himself in, and then they went to go look at the bodies. They ended up together because the whole time they had already been dead side by side, and the bride herself never actually made it up to the top of the road. That's what I'm thinking, because that's the only way that would explain why her body ended up there, unless she didn't die when she got hit by the truck or the cargo truck, and then she made her way back down to the road to try to be with her husband before she died. I'm guessing that might be why. And it's also pretty sad and scary that she still goes, like her ghost still goes up to the top of the road asking people for help, because obviously when she was initially doing this, if she wasn't actually a ghost the first time, nobody wanted to stop for her. So whenever people stop for the apparition of her ghost, then she tells people that it's too late, obviously, because both her and her husband are not actually alive anymore. I just thought that one was really creepy. And I know there's a lot of different ones where people see a bride on the side of the road because they got into some kind of accident. There's so many like that. And I just wanted to add this one as well because the location of this urban legend it's pretty creepy on its own as well. There's a lot of winding roads where a lot of accidents happen, and then people end up seeing the apparition of a lot of different people who have passed away there. Because I think I covered a different one where it was two friends and people see them like holding hands walking on the side of the road or like standing in the middle of the road, and they suddenly have to brake really quickly and try to avoid hitting them, and then they're all of a sudden they're just gone, they're disappeared. I don't know what I would do, but I always think about that whenever I go on a road trip. It's been a long time since I've been on a road trip, but when I was younger and we would road trip a lot, I would always think about that. And it's like, what if we see a ghost? What if my dad like just stops for somebody and then it's not a real person and we get haunted? That was like one of my irrational fears. But anyway, I thought that was a pretty good one, pretty interesting. And as many as there are like women in white dresses, it'll still freak me out every single time. I don't care how many I've covered or how many I've read about, they're all still creepy in their own way. But all right, let's go ahead and get into our last urban legend here. And this one is the mysterious mummy of Mahalka. I think that's how you say it. And if it's not, I'm sorry. As always, I can't do anything about it. I've never heard of these places. All right, on a weekend some years back, 5 young people were off on an adventure to Cumbres de Mahalca National Park, some 55 miles northeast of Chihuahua City. The mother of one of the boys on the trip cautioned them because she was familiar with the area and knew that many strange things happened around Mahalca. Young people, as they are, laughed off the woman's warnings and loaded the car for an exciting weekend in the wilderness. On one of the back roads near the national park, their car got a flat tire. They pulled the car off to the side of the road to put on the spare. One of the members of this group, Luis, wandered off a little and rested near a small rock outcrop. Between some of the stones he saw a glint of something. It looked like something metallic was behind the pile of rocks. He called the others over to his location and started to remove the rocks. The group beheld a large, shiny black box about 5 feet long. When they took the lid off the box, they were shocked at what they saw. A mummified corpse full of jewels, with a large gold ring on the right hand. The group was terrified and all were scared to the point of feeling nauseous, except for Luis, the one who stumbled upon the sight initially. Luis thought himself brave and decided to take the ring off the mummy's hand. He used too much force and tore the entire hand from the corpse of the mummy. A reddish-green liquid spurted out and splashed on Luis. This scared the group even more. Luis then started to turn pale and had trouble breathing. The road they were on was not well traveled, but they soon flagged down a woman in a small car for help. There was only room in the car for one passenger, so they asked the woman if she could take Luis to a hospital in Chihuahua City while they finished up fixing their own car. Luis got into the car and he felt relieved that he would soon have the medical attention he needed. A few minutes into the ride, he noticed something unusual about the female driver. She was missing a hand. Luis was a curious fellow and tried to be as polite as possible when he asked the woman what happened to her hand. The woman looked at Luis with a cold stare and yelled,
"You took it from me."
Later that day on Highway 45, Luis's body was found on the side of the road, and the coroner's office in Chihuahua City ruled that the cause of Luis's death was a heart attack. I think that one was the creepiest one to me, because the whole thing with the mummy that they found, like, they obviously disturbed the grave of somebody of some kind of status. Maybe she was some kind of witch, or why was she in the desert buried there in a silver box? Who knows? But how creepy would that be, to think that you're safe and then all of a sudden you somehow end up in the car of somebody who is not real, or who is, I don't know. I don't even know what this person could have been, whether it could have been a ghost or whether she came back to life somehow and then went and sought revenge for this guy disturbing her tomb. I have no idea. But whenever it comes to like putting pieces together of these urban legends, I'm just like, actually none of this makes sense. But either way, I'm not even gonna question it, because either way I got scared and it spooked me, and if it were something that truly happened, it would scare the crap out of me. And that's why you can't be messing around with people's graves, and you never know what could happen, because although people say that the body is just a vessel and you have no attachment to it after you've gone on to the afterlife, I feel like still when you disturb a grave or you disturb somebody's resting place, it could still backfire on you somehow, because maybe they are somehow still looking over these resting spots, or maybe they come back and visit the resting spots because their family goes to visit them and they know that that's where they'll find their family. I don't know. There's a lot of things we just don't know when it comes to afterlife, but still, this one was so scary. But yeah, guys, that is going to be the last urban legend. Tell me which one was your favorite, or which one you enjoyed the most and creeped you out the most. For me, I think it was the mummy one, just because you guys know I am always very spooked by that kind of stuff, like when you pick somebody up and it's actually a ghost, and then they disappear, or you see like something scary through the rear view mirror. All of that stuff gives me the heebie-jeebies. So yeah, let me know which one was your favorite in the comments down below. But that is going to be it from me, you guys. I really do hope that you enjoyed today's video. Before I do end today's video, today's comment shout out goes to this person right here. Thank you so much for leaving a nice comment. As always, I really do appreciate it and it really makes my day. And if you want to be the next comment shout out, all you have to do is leave me a nice comment down below, and that's it. And yeah guys, thank you so much for watching. And just one quick thing before I go, don't forget, if you would like to join my memberships here on my channel, just hit the join button down below. It is $4.99 a month and you got a bunch of special perks, and you also get an additional video that is only for my members every single month. So if you guys are interested in that, join button is down below and it's supporting me directly. But yeah guys, thank you so much for watching once again. Hopefully I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to stay safe and be kind. Bye bye.